this Louisiana Tech team could be as good as it gets. They come in 22-10 off of last season. A loss, though, in the quarterfinals for this Techsters side. They do come in the preseason favorites, though, in the conference, receiving 3 first-place votes. They're bringing back 2 starters, including preseason player of the year Daniel Bacho, who averaged 15 and nearly 10 last year. Sean Newman, I like to call him the point god out there, also back. They do lose 2 of their top 10 scorers in Isaiah Crawford, Talik Chavez. Defense is the name of the game for this Louisiana Tech team. They led the conference in opponents' point per game, giving up under 65 points per contest last year, and they got more athletic this offseason. Their non-conference schedule looks something like this. Trips to Memphis. They go to Louisiana, who was in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. They'll face Grand Canyon before opening Conference USA play at UTEP on January 2nd. We're excited now to be joined by Louisiana Tech head coach Talvin Hester, as well as preseason player of the year, Daniel Bacho. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Coach, you told me preseason that you felt like last year was a step in the right direction. It did not end the way that you guys had hoped. How have you used that as motivation this offseason heading into this year?
Unfinished business. We've been really hard in practice on being more disciplined, being better defensively, being more active, getting new guys acclimated, and just holding guys accountable for what we want to do. And, we don't want to have any lofty dreams that we're not working to accomplish. So we're just working really hard every day and really excited about what we have going forward.
Now, Coach, a lot of scoring gone. Isaiah Crawford, Talik Chavez, both graduating here. That was almost 30 points per game for you guys last season. How do you make up for that?
I don't think you make it up with one or 2 players. I think our team can make it up. We got a couple of starters that are coming back, and I'm sure if they're doing what they're supposed to do, their production can be up. And then we got a complement of other guys that I think can all take big steps. And if we can do that, we can take those 30 points and we can divide them up, and we can find a way to accomplish that too. And we still want to be better defensively. I'll be honest with you. We finished the year where we kind of tailed off a little defensively, more than we wanted to, but we want to get better on that end, and that'll make up for some of those points on offense. Better
defensively, that could be dangerous for the rest of the league. But Coach, you guys come in as the preseason favorites, and you know that comes with a target on your back. How do you go about managing expectations and that pressure inside this locker room?
We don't take those expectations in the locker room with us. We know that it's going to be a little tougher with a target on our back, but we're okay there. We haven't slacked on our work ethic. We've turned it up if anything, and so we want to go in with a clear head and a clear mind and kind of just maximize who we are and kind of reach our potential and reach our ceiling. If we can do that, I think we'll be okay.
Coach, you're joined today by Daniel Bacho, one of the baddest men in this conference. He is a true unicorn. He's elite offensively. He's elite defensively. What are your favorite parts of his game?
Having him.
That's fair.
You're only blessed to have a guy like him every so often. I've never coached a guy as good as him. With his length and size, his ability to transition from defense to offense. Just challenge him every day. It's hard for a guy like him to come into practice where nobody looks like him and have to, be great every day for us when he's like, I'm already good, coach. But I just keep challenging him every day to think bigger than our walls, think bigger than our locker room, because I don't think he's one of the best bigs in this conference. I think he's one of the best bigs nationally, and he's out to prove that this year.
Well, based on last year's numbers, hard to argue with that point right there. Daniel, you have one of the most interesting journeys in this league. You grew up in France. Your mom played for Russia and introduced you to the game of basketball. You moved stateside when you're 18. What's your favorite part about your basketball journey so far?
I would say just meet the people that I met. I can really call them family. I met Coach Esther and D-Mike and Kevin and Tyson back in Texas Tech. And ever since, I knew that they were going to be here with me for a second. And D-Mike is really somebody that I can call uncle. Like the things that he'd be doing for me in and out of the court, that's really my favorite part of it.
Now, Daniel, you hit the ground running last year in your first year in Ruston after transferring in. What allowed you to have such a comfort level in that first year? And what can we expect for year number 2?
Like I just said, I already knew the coaches here. I already know Coach Esther, Coach D-Mike, so it really made it the transition so easy. They really made it easy for me, and in year 2 it's gonna be even better. I'm just gonna keep getting better everything that I do and work harder.
Now, Daniel, you're expected to be leaned on again this year. We talked about some of the points per game lossage this year. How have you prepared yourself for a bigger load this season?
I've been working on just being in a better conditioning, play longer, working on my two-point shot, just listening to the coaches more, being a better leader, make sure I make everybody comfortable.
Bunch of scary thoughts there. Daniel, I asked your coach about some of the preseason pressure for this program, being ranked preseason. How do you go about handling that personally?
Coaches always tell us that preseason trophies, it don't mean nothing. It's all about postseason trophies. So they always tell us what we did last year, that was last year. This year we haven't done nothing. So we have everything to prove. We have the same start that the last team of the conference. I don't know who that is, but number one and the last team, we're the same right now. We have 0-0. Everybody on the same start.
Well, certainly going to be a great season in Conference USA. Coach Hester, Daniel, thanks for taking some time to come on the show.
Thanks so much. We appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys later.
Well, guys, let's get back over to the studio where Matt Warner and Paul Nazigan are standing by. Daniel Baccio speaks 3 languages. Guys, how many languages do you speak?
Well, Naz is from Philadelphia, so he says things I don't understand.
Forget about it.
So he speaks Philly, if that's a language. I don't know, but he certainly speaks that.
That we can't speak here.
That's right. Well, Louisiana Tech, you heard Coach Hester say unfinished business. Those were his words. This seems like a really focused group given how it ended last year.
Yeah, and you can see they're owning that, and that's good. But I really think Coach Hester has set the appropriate balance when you talk about unfinished business. They're using it as motivation, but they're not obsessing over it. Yeah. You know, if you hear them talk, it's about day-to-day getting better. But they know they had the team that a lot of people thought would win it last year. They didn't, but they're going after it this year, and they got the pieces to do it.
Well, not many programs can lose a conference player of the year, an elite bucket getter like Isaiah Crawford, and still be picked to win the conference. But when you have Daniel Baccio, that solves a lot of issues, doesn't it?
For sure, and he's very humble in his comments there. You know, he's phenomenal on both ends, but he's a guy that is so skilled on the offensive end. You can play through him or you can play off of him, and some of the other guys that will help. You saw Sean Newman there listed on the graphic. I mean, I think he's a guy, yes, a lot of minutes, but he's ready to kind of take over that point guard role. And when you've got that point post combination, they could really do some serious damage.
And they're talking about defense there as well, locking it down on the defensive end.
That's right. You know, sometimes we get so focused on points and how you're going to make up points. Their mantra is defense as a team, but Coach Hester preaches to those guys individually. You got to be ready to step up, get into your man, and really defend.
Yeah, high hopes certainly there for Louisiana Tech.